Alright, this is a human spinal cord, as you know. And I'm going to start up here. So you have your cervical region, okay? And if you've read your book and you know that there's cervical plexus and there's brachial plexus. The cervical plexus has been cut out of the spinal cord. You cannot see the cervical plexus. You only see the brachial plexus. The brachial plexus are right here. This is your you would say right brachial plexus of the spinal cord. So this is your brachial plexus, which will then give rise to your ulnar, median, axillary, radial nerves, and this right here, this groove, which actually starts all the way up to the cervical plexus, goes all the way down to the sacral. It's called your posterior median sulcus. It's just that you can see it better here in the thoracic region. So this is called the posterior median sulcus, brachial plexus. So this is the cervical region. This is the thoracic region. This is the lumbar region. This is the sacral region right here. Another thing you need to know is this little guy right here. See that it looks like a lymph node? It's called your dorsal root ganglion. Okay, so this is your dorsal root ganglion. And what immediately touches the actual spinal cord is obviously the pia mater, but you cannot see the pia mater because it's so thin and it's transparent. So you can't actually see the pia mater. You can only see the dura mater. So the thicker layer or the skin that covers the spinal cord is called dura mater. I can pin this and tag this on a practicum. I wouldn't be able to pin or tag the pia mater because you can't see it. The spinal cord, all the way from the cervical region, like from the medulla oblongata and gets to the spinal cord and stuff, it comes all the way down to the bottom, pretty much the bottom of the thoracic region. It's intact. You can see how it's intact. And right before it starts to branch off to these string-looking like nerves, the area before it starts to branch off, it's called conus medullaris. The conus medullaris. So if I was to put it, not yet. You're gonna get there. So this is conus medullaris. So if I was to pin right here and say name this structure, name this region, you would say conus medullaris of the spinal cord. It's right before the area before, and the horsehair that you were talking about is these string-looking like things, and it's called cauda equina. Okay, cauda equina. So these are cauda equinas, conus medullaris, dura mater, posterior median sulcus, dorsal root ganglion, brachial plexus. Then when we come lower, you have your sacral plexus. This right here, this region, these three nerves are your sacral plexus. They make up your sacral plexus, and also they give rise to your sciatic nerve. This is your sciatic nerve. Okay? The sciatic nerve comes and makes up your, it's been cut, and it's not as short as that, it's usually a lot longer. So, because the sciatic goes all the way down to your foot. So then this right here is your sacral plexus, sciatic nerve, and towards the end of the spinal cord, when it gets to your coccyx bone, you guys remember where the coccyx bone is, right? Mm-hmm. The nerve that goes and innervates that part of the body is called the filum terminale. Phylum terminale or filum terminale, either or. And this actually in the book, it starts up here, these nerves right here, which will then continue, you see that? They continue on and turn into the filum terminale. Now, I wouldn't pin it up here, even though this is part of the filum terminale. I would pin it over here because you might get it confused with cauda equina. Okay, so really quickly, I'll go over it one more time. So filum terminale right here ends up in your coccyx bone. Sacral plexus gives rise to your sciatic nerve. You have your dura mater. You have your cauda equina. you have your conus medullaris, you have your dorsal root ganglion, you have your brachial plexus, you have your posterior median sulcus, you have your cervical region, you have your thoracic region, you have your lumbar region, and you have your sacral region. And the area, this is the one I forgot, is where the lumbar region and sacral region are kind of meeting up. You see a lot of plexuses. You see your sacral plexuses and you have your lumbar plexus. You don't need to know about your lumbar plexus, I don't think, on this model, but it is there. But this little region right here is called the lumbosacral enlargement. So if I was to put something here, which would indicate from here to here, you would say lumbosacral enlargement. Okay? So lumbosacral enlargement, sacral region, lumbar region, thoracic region, cervical region. That's it.
The really, really tall dude.
Thank you.